Hi all, welcome back to Sunshine City Show. Today I want to discuss a character called Joesph Gregory Hallett and another character called Charlie Ward. Now I was on a show recently watching Tom Hanks, and the guy had 70,000 followers, and what does Charlie Ward have? 163,000 followers, and he recommends Charlie Ward's channel. So I go on and say, this guy sees himself as Jesus Christ the second, the Antichrist with the letter E. Why are you promoting his channel? And he said, well, he did that in the past, but I don't think he still does it. It's like, well, he's been doing it this whole time. So today is the day that Charlie Ward comes clean. Now, this was last week. Comes clean. I guess at the end of the day, it's caught up with him. But he's got 163,000 followers. He's scammed charities. This has been a big charity scam. They've gone searching in caves. They've done documentary on the scam, and they've had people giving money. Now, Charlie Ward, at the beginning of his video, has his son on there. Don't know how old he is. Pedophilia and cuties these days. He's got his son on there talking about Jesus Christ. And then Charlie Ward comes on and says, King John III. Hi to King John III and introduced him to everybody, and he has his son at the beginning talking about Jesus Christ, which is abhorrent, because it says in the Bible, if you mislead people and lead them off the path, spiritually you're condemned and damned. This guy's got 163,000 followers, and he's doing very well out of it. Unfortunately, it says in the Bible, the wicked will get their judgment at the end of the day, get their karma, whatever. So in the meantime, people have been giving their money, their life savings to Gregory Hallett, assuming that he's the king and the queen and everybody else were lizards and evil people and Illuminati and that King John III, because Gregory Joesph Hallett, for some reason, sees himself as King John III. He's related to some queen who died but didn't die, and apparently that's all lies. I want to say something else. That's all lies. Everything he kept making up, called himself Jesus the Christ with the letter E and the Antichrist. So the letter E means that he was the true Christ, and he said he came from the South Island, which is my big thing. He came on the long white cloud of the South Island, like, the second coming of Jesus, using the Maori mythology there. But he didn't come from the South Island, he came from the North Island, Tauranga. And very, very hard to pull this guy apart. He was involved in Centrepoint in Auckland, which was a sex cult. He was involved in that as a young man. They've got photos of him in there. And his sister was talking about it online. And at the beginning, his sister and his mum were there and said, hey, this is a scam. And he was involved in some sort of cult. Didn't know it was the Cooper sex cult in Centrepoint. I don't know what year that was. It was quite a while ago when he was a young man. And probably in the 1970s. They were all long hair. They've got pictures of him in there. And there was pedophilia in there. And so there was only 60 people involved. And he was one of the people in there. And there would have been stuff that he'd done in there that he wasn't happy about. And that is the reason he's been so strong on pedophilia. Charlie Ward's so strong on pedophilia. But these guys, David Maloney's another one. These guys that do the production, this production of the King John III, these guys all seem like they're all, well, he said they're all in it. They all know the truth. They know that Greg's a liar. And yet, on Charlie Ward's channel, they're all on the panel there, and Greg comes on, they go, all hail King John, and they did the music, all hail King John III's here, all hail King John III, all hail, literally chanting his name. King John, his name's Greg, or goes Joesph Greg, or you could just name him Joe, which is so much easier, but no, everyone has to call him Greg. And, King John, if it's his title, apparently he just made it up. So according to Charlie Ward, he came clean, apparently 15 years ago. 15 years ago, Greg and his friend, who reckoned he did have the real King John, real ancestry, which sounds like another lie story. This other chap had it, and they swapped. And so Greg took it because the mythology and everything lined up with his royalness, but it just sounds like a lie because there's no royal blood between either of them. Big lie. And this is the problem with Greg. He just makes up stuff as he goes along and just makes up stories. And, that's how Jesus Christ, the Antichrist, with the letter E. Whereas the letter E, what I used to say was that he was Jesus Christ with the letter, the Antichrist with the letter E from Sesame Street, because that's how ridiculous his stories are. And one woman went into it in a lot of depth. She'd read his memos and everything else and all his proof, and she just pretty much realised it was a load of lies, talking about the sword and pulling the sword out of the stone like King Arthur, and Joesph Gregory is this amazing mythical character that's going to be the Antichrist and fight the Antichrist with the true Christ, and said that people misunderstood. And so in the meantime, there was a lot of people blatantly who'd been given money and said, look, you don't understand, it's all lining up with prophecy in the Bible and Revelations. And so he'd played on that, and it was this time, the end times and the lockdown and everything else, is the right time to fool people. And unfortunately, a lot of people got fooled by Greg. And here we are, being lied to right now. So this is good news that we finally found out that Greg, who the biggest sponsor of all, Charlie Ward, has come clean. Unfortunately, he came clean on Buy, Shoot and other. Apparently he's had a 7-day ban there, but I think the guy needs to be banned because Charlie Ward also benefited from this. He benefited from putting the guy on his panel, benefited from calling him the King John and playing along with it. And while people are giving out charities, and some of the charities had got their money back on PayPal, but they found out other ways to do charities and other ways to get money, and they were doing that, and they could get the money through Charlie Ward or some of these other guys and get the production going, this TV production of this guy being the king, and kind of make a movie out of it. And it's like, well, we didn't believe it. It's like, that's not true. That's not what you were saying. We were on your channel. Everyone was attacking all the believers on the channel in the comment section. We were making points and showing them where they were wrong at every point of time. But these people were so blatantly believing it. And you know what that does? It destroys the real Messiah or Antichrist, the real one that comes. And it destroys Revelation and all this Antichrist nonsense that was going on, and him being the king, and the Buckingham Palace had been vacated because the symbol on the gate, the emblem, and he had his own number, 777, because that was God's number, and looked like 666. This is the way he did the sevens, and he had his own emblem already done. He had his own book. His own manuscript looks like a Freemason chanting manuscript, so it's very, very strange. And you do wonder if these guys are Freemasons, so why would they be in on a lie like this? And there is an advantage to using a guy like this who's mentally disturbed from Centrepoint. His sisters and his mother said that he needs help. Please don't be conned by him and stop giving him money, but these people are giving him the life savings. He'd been touring England and overseas trips, and he's currently in England, and he can just walk around. He's never had to work. 30 years now he hasn't had to work. He's been doing this for 15 years. There's old videos of him doing it, but he wasn't doing it very well. Wanted to be someone special, and he finally got it. Finally got people to believe him, and Charlie Ward saw this as an opportunity to make money, to grow his channel from nothing. Because apparently he grew it from nothing and went to 163,000 over a false Messiah. How could you predict such nonsense? And then David Mahoney and everyone else, they all got famous from it. And in the meantime, the charities were all going to Joesph Gregory Hallett, going to him. and funding his life. And so all these people have got rich off the naivety of the viewers, the naivety of us, the people. Now, when I did my first video, I'd only been watching it for 15 minutes. I go, wow, what's this? And I thought, wow, this all makes sense, because he's talking about coronavirus, the corona, the crown. And I thought, this is strange, but he looks like a decent guy. And then I realized, after I spent more time on it, that I need to put out another video and go, this is wrong. And I've done 5 or 6 videos on it later. So the Joesph Gregory Hallett thing still going. These guys are still going. It should have been dead and buried 2 months ago. I did my last video August the 7th thereabouts, and it's still going, but it was kind of like killed a little bit then. This guy, August the 9th, started up a channel. He's got 1K followers already, and he's doing a really good job of attacking it. He can bring in graphics, stuff that I can't do, unfortunately. And so you need a guy who can bring graphics up and show people. I mean, I get people on my channel saying, hey, you know, this is nonsense. I believe in Joesph Gregory Hallett being the King of England, and I believe in him being Jesus Christ the second. Jesus Christ the second, you know, the true Christ, the Antichrist, the true Christ. And so this is what people are like, and I've had people on my channel, and you can't help them. They're so far gone. And it's just sad, because we're in a time now where that Jesus is real, and we've got people like this. And the true Antichrist is having a lot of laughs over this one. This has been great. This is just pure magic. He can use this, because once people lose, the next time someone comes along, he can trick people so easily. People are so easily conned right now, and I think the lockdown and the stress and just 6-8 months of a virus that just keeps going on and on and on and on. You know, 0.03% chance of dying with an average age of 84, and we have to go through all this stress of wanting to give us a vaccine, putting masks on us, having crazy cops in Victoria who took Avi down, basically crunched him to the ground, and the other reporters were complaining about it, and they didn't put it on their news. They didn't put it on the media, because as we know, the media lies. But Avi got them on his own channel. But who watches Avi? Because people go, you know, the true media that lies, that's your baseline of truth. That is your baseline of truth. So when people say, oh, you watch those vloggers on YouTube lying, you know, they're liars, because my baseline of truth is media that lies to me. You gotta be kidding me. The reason that social media is out here so we can find the truth, and we're not going to find it from media. There is good media such as Fox News. Tucker does a relatively good job. Some people don't like Hannity. I personally think he does a good job, and if Tucker's there disagreeing with them, it's good to hear them both out so you can get a kind of an idea of the truth between the two of them. And sometimes they disagree on things. And then you've got on the other side CNN, who just lie about anything to do with Trump. Whatever Trump wants to do, they'll just do the opposite, because they're just an anti-Trump program. And that's all that they've been. And because Trump stands for a lot of good things in the world, they're going to stand for a lot of bad things in the world. And they're going to say that all the bad things are good. They're going to prop up Antifa. They're going to prop up Black Lives Matter. And it's okay till people get hurt, but they don't want to know about people getting hurt till it gets so bad. And the only reason that they found out that it got was that guy Kyle Rittenhouse, the Mad Max, who took down 3 people with his gun who were trying to kill him and hit him and punch him his life out with a skateboard, smash him to the ground. Some other guy had a pistol coming around to put him a bullet in his head, and he managed to take 3 of them out, kill 2 of them, and wound the other in the arm. And so that is the only reason that Antifa, CNN says, hey, this is doing us wrong. And the other thing was their polls were going, because people had had enough of the riots, and they realized that they were losing this battle, because You can't force people to vote Democrats. People are going to vote Republicans for law and order. And that's how people are. Thank you all.